Hello and welcome to the gojenn videocast. Today is Sunday, May 29th. This is Memorial Day weekend in the U.S. when we remember our armed forces that have been lost. And as a child of the 60s, I grew up with the Vietnam War on TV every night and on the news. And so that's what I consider my personal war, because that was the one that I grew up in, and it was just so sad. So definitely thinking of all of our soldiers, men, women, who are out there doing a job that we really appreciate. So, gojenn videocast. I'm going to do yarny stuff as well as planner stuff this time. I know I said I would wait 2 weeks, but I couldn't, because I guess I was afraid that you would miss me, or you would forget about me, or one or the other, or something like that. So anyway, I'm going to have yarny stuff and planner stuff today. So I'm going to start with yarny stuff. If you noticed my beautiful accessory here, this is my second crochet beaded, how does it go, necklace. Okay, this is not really the shirt for it. I'm sorry, my wardrobe department just doesn't have it together. I may have to fire somebody. But these are relatively simple to make. The hardest part is getting the beads strung on the yarn. And this is that yarn that drove me so crazy when I was swatching for my owl. I'm really glad I didn't use it for that, because it was very sticky here. It's not as sticky now, and I attribute that to its had the beads over and over and over on it, and I think it's kind of worked out some of its stickiness, which is just the wool fibers wanting to be attached to other wool fibers. And this is how the neck, the back of the neck is worked. And it's very secure. I just think it's beautiful. The yarn that the colors you're seeing, I think, are pretty much what this is. It's a wine colored yarn, and the beads are a very grapey, dark colored. So anyway, that's going to go up into the Stitchy Markers Etsy shop. When I finally get around, you have to take pictures, you have to weigh, measure everything, tell exactly where everything came from and all that good stuff. So that's going to take me a while, because I've got several things to do. But anyway, that's not your problem. Anyway, it is the 29th, so that means that a new month is coming as far as the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup. I also play the Ravelry game of Nerdopolis. It used to be Nerd Wars, and then the people who were at the top of that just shut it down, and I was crushed. And so I've been playing, but I haven't had my heart into it like it is in the Harry Potter House Cup. But I'm on team Paranormal Investigations, because Nerdopolis teams are based on different nerderies. So I'm on Paranormal Investigation, and that includes Fringe, X-Files, Twin Peaks, those kind of shows. So anyway, that being said, one of our challenges in the group, because we're trying to get some team spirit going, our team boss sent everybody a pair of flip-flops. Just plain old, ordinary, nothing special flip-flops. And she wants us to all to bling out our flip-flops for the beginning of the term. And so that's what I'm going to do. I just And I'm showing you because I'm going to have to show you what I do to these flip-flops. I'm planning a little front piece right here and some beads, of course. So that's a fun thing, and that's like a team building kind of thing. And I was talking to that group about ways that we could do some team building here on the gojenn videocast. And some suggestions were I could, just take questions and and give you answers. If you have any questions for me, any at all, ask them either in the comments below here on YouTube or in our Ravelry group. It is still there. It's been dormant for a while, but please feel free to go in there and ask a question. Is there anything you want to know? I'm an open book. Let's see. Anything else? Okay, that was my crochet necklace and my naked flip-flops. This is my Snapdragon by Ava Nee. Let's see. That's, y'all just saw the back side. This is the front side. And where you see the stitch marker, that is where I was last week, because I gave most of my love, and you'll see it, I gave most of my love to my trillion this week. I was knitting. I love this. It's simple. You just have to keep up with where to do your increases. And I don't know, so really what I'm showing you with my Progress Keeper stitch marker is that I did an entire, can you tell that these little rows, see this is longer, shorter. So I did a full short row and then a half of one of the long row repeats. It's beautiful, I love it, and I don't really see a problem finishing it unless I just run out of time. Of course, the owls on the Harry Potter House Cup are 3-month projects, and I started this the 1st of May. So I have May, June, and July. So this has to be finished by July 31st in order for me to get my owl, which is just an imaginary, this is all imaginary prizes and stuff. That's why I was so shocked to get the flip-flop. It's an actual real flip-flop. It's not a virtual flip-flop. So good for that, huh? So that's my Snapdragon. Like I said, I spent most of my time with my trillion this week. This is my knitted project. I'm a much slower knitter. I've ordered a thingy to be circular needle keepers, because I put a piece of paper down next to the fabric. I always try to be really careful, but that really does scare me, because with crochet you only have one stitch on the hook at any time. With Tunisian crochet and this pattern, I only have 7 stitches on the hook at any time. I mean, if it falls off and unravels a little bit, it's no problem. It's not like with knitting trying to pick up stitches. That is very difficult. Okay, so this is my trillion. And you see my little stitch marker. So I've done this much, which is maybe 3 inches. And at my knitting speed, that's pretty good. And you'll see, of course, that the rows are getting longer. This is some glorious Malabrigo yarn. No, this is the Marigold Gin. The Malabrigo is what I'm using on the Snapdragon. I admit to, see how nice this looks, that let me put something behind it to help you see. Sorry. But you still don't get to see it. Anyway, there you go. That's better. You can see how nice that little bordering is. I admit that when I first got started, it's kind of sketchy. We just won't mention that again. I probably will, but it's not pretty. But I am doing really well on this. I don't, knock on wood, have any drop stitches or anything like that. No holes. It's very nice fabric, beautiful yarn. I enjoy working on it. Now this, the problem may really be that I run out of time. I am a very slow knitter. So I just don't know if I'll be able to finish this in the time that we have left. Okay, so you have seen my progress there from the stitch marker up. I'm going to move the stitch marker. You know what I did last time? I had to go back and watch the podcast to see where I had shown you that I was, so that I could move the stitch progress keeper up. So I'm going to do that right now, and that will save me having to do it again later. Whoops, I think I picked, no I didn't. But, well, before I do that, I wanted to show you, in case you're wondering if you could do the lobster claw clasps on my stitchy markers. These are not lobster claw as much. You can do these with one hand. You just press that in. It's not like the other ones where you had to pull the little hook back, if you know what I'm saying. Because I've read some comments where people thought that might be difficult. And it's these clasps are much easier than that. So anyway, I just thought of that. So here I am. That's where I'll be starting. And hopefully I'll have lots to show you, since I am off work Monday for Memorial Day. So that's that. That is my, whoops. That is my Yarny craft for, I don't know if this does any good, but it makes me feel safe. So that's my, next week I will have fancy flip-flops to show you, and work on my Trillion and my Snapdragon, and maybe one or two things for the new month on Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup and Nerdopolis, since they're both starting on June 1st, which is Wednesday of this week. So that is all I'm going to do with the whole thing's nerd, but with the yarn part. Hold on for just a second, and I'm going to come back with a flip through of the planner stuff. Thank you for watching. If I don't say it at the end of the next section, you know I wish you a week full of love and laughter. And because I always say that I wish you love and laughter, let me tell you a joke. And anybody who knows me in real life is cringing because they're going, whoo, what joke is she going to tell this audience? How many tickles does it take to make a squid laugh? How many tickles does it take to make a squid laugh? Ready? 10 tickles. Tentacles. Tentacles? 10 tickles, get it? Love and laughter. Hold on. Okay, many hours later, for me anyway, for you, maybe a second or two, but for me, it's many hours later. Our power went out. Then, of course, our internet was off, and we had to get that reset, and it's still not quite right. But at any rate, I'm going to try to get this done as quickly as possible. I had it done before the power went out, and then when the power went out, I lost it. So, anyway, it's been a long day. Okay, so now it's time for the planner portion of the show, and as always, there's my Foxy Fix Faux Midori Traveler's Notebook and my Color Crush by Webster's Pages planner in the personal size. Okay, and looking in my Traveler's Notebook first, this is the my journal for May, so it's just about to be over. It's almost filled up. I've had a good month of May Mojo, so I'm looking for a word that's going to go with June. So I'll take suggestions, please. I can't come up with anything good. June, June, Jazzy June, Jumpin' June, June, something. Okay, I'm out of it. So if you can come up with something, please put it in the comments below. Okay, so here we go with June. Of course, this is my tracker on the left, my habit tracker, and my crafting tracker on the right. I have done really good for myself for May. I haven't missed a single day of crafting at least 15 minutes. And I think that's more like the minimum I did is like 30 to 45 minutes, because once I get started, I cannot stop. And that's my social media tracker. I don't think I'm going to do that next month because I'm going to stick to my same schedule. I try to post to Instagram every day, but sometimes I just don't have anything to say. So that's that. And then my calendar for May. This is where we left off last month, and so this is just my journal. And it, of course, has been making me very, very happy. I'm been thrilled every day with my Mojo. I don't know if you noticed on the page before this, I don't have a back button, so I can't go back. But this, I've got some new markers this week, and they bled through. The heading at the top is the markers, and that bled through, and so I have learned that lesson. It bled through on the top of this page, so I put stickers over top of it. So I'll just have to be more careful, and plan ahead, or do something differently. I like the markers. They're okay. They're a brush pen on one end and a fine point marker on the other, so they're a very cheap version of like a Tombow dual marker with the brush pen and the fine tip pen. Less than $20 on Amazon. So I mean, you don't expect them to be great. And this is now in my bullet journal, and I've enjoyed having my little progress keeper down on the bottom for my crafting. I'm usually really monogamous. I usually have one thing that I'm working on. I'll finish that and then I'll start something new. But right now I've got 2, 3 things going, maybe 4. And so it's kind of fun to see their progress. So I'm having to take a note from Boho Berry on the bullet journal list to pay attention, and I haven't been, and I need to, not to put down a project as a task, because then when I look at my list, I go, holy cow, that's a lot, because instead of just being a simple task, something that I can complete, I've put down a whole project, like make 4 sets of stitchy markers. Well, that means pulling out my beads, my findings, taking the time to make them. Then you have to photograph them. You have to upload them to Etsy, do a store update. It's a whole lot entailed with that, and I think that's one reason that I haven't done more updates, because it's a lot to it. It's a 2-night job most often, so I have to be more careful about the difference between a task and a project. So that is my bullet journal, and on the right side of the page is where I keep up with my hashtag Plan With Me challenge, and that is on Instagram. I think it's kind of run by boho.berry and Tiny Ray of Sunshine, and the other person, I cannot think of her name. I never can. I'm always wrong. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Pretty, no, I don't know what it is. And this is in my last insert. It's my Lister's Got a List challenge, and that's also on Instagram. The hashtag is Lister's Gotta List. It's run by the Reset Girl, Corey, the Reset Girl, and I love her challenges. We're getting ready to get a new month of challenges for Plan With Me and Lister's Got a List, so that's really something to look forward to. I'm just about to finish up my May, and there I've got my May Mojo. What's my June going to be? I really need help with that. Please help. These are the markers that I got this week. I think the name brand is something like Immersive Color. Let's see, I've got one here. Yeah, Immersive Color. Okay, so that's an off-brand that we've never heard of. But, you know, you get what you pay for. That is my new journal for the month of June. So right now it's blank and empty with nothing. And by the time you see it, it will be all decorated up. We'll have a couple days journaling in it. I'll have my printable tracker and stuff inside there. So that's something that I'm, looking forward to. That's going to be fun. All right, that was my Traveler's Notebook. This is my Webster's Pages Color Crush. So let's see, this is last week's layout. And so here goes this week. And I'm just putting down what happened during the day, maybe adding some stickers. And then once it's all down, I kind of go back and fill in any empty spots with stickers. So that is my week that I'm sharing with everybody. Here are my two doggies, Lucky and Bella, and they're sleeping, and they really are sleeping right now because it is late. But at any rate, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, because that helps bump me up in where YouTube puts me, so that new people, maybe somebody new who's searching on crochet videos, or somebody new that's searching for planner or journal or Traveler's Notebook or Color Crush, or whatever they're searching for, it helps put me higher in the sort. So at any rate, that's everything I've got until I see you next week. And don't forget to do your 10 tickles.